Hi everyone, this is Dr. Michele Alignay, your family psychologist. Welcome to Coffee Break with Dr. Michele. I'm going to have conversations with you about family life, relationships, and faith, and I hope you join our conversations here at this YouTube channel. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Coffee Break. It's another Tuesday morning of really good discussion and conversation about our realities, about our family life and relationships. So join me this morning. This is Dr. Michele Alignay. I welcome you to Coffee Break. And please do share this with family and friends kasi ngayong umaga, ang pag-uusapan natin ay hindi malayo sa ating lahat. Ang pag-uusapan natin ay relationship conflicts. Isang bagay na madalas paghiritan pero hindi pinag-uusapan. So, good morning everybody. Welcome. Thank you, Yeng, for being the first one here. For those of you who are watching live, please do share it or tag your family and friends who just might need to hear these insights that I'm going to share with you. So, ito ang masarap pag-usapan ng may kape. Ito ang masarap pag-usapan ng nakaupo, nakikinig at nagmuni-muni. So even you'll tell me that I am single, I'm not in a relationship, pwede ba sa akin yung topic na yan? Yes, because lahat tayo ay nasa relasyon. Relasyon sa kapatid, relasyon sa magulang, because conflict happens. Totoo yan, hindi natin maiiwasan na may conflict. Ang akala lang ng iba, conflict is yung nagbabatuhan ng pinggan, heated discussion, and parang unending battle. But little did we know that conflicts is actually normal and inherent in our relationships, in our daily lives. So, pag-usapan natin yan ngayong umaga. So, why don't you just get your coffee? I have freshly brewed coffee. Thank you for those who are watching. Ngayon, ang pag-usapan natin ay relationship conflict. Lahat taas ang kamay kung sino or express heart or like sa mga friends ko dito na nagkakaroon ng diskusyon sa mga kasama sa bahay, nagkakaroon ng arguments or misunderstanding sa mga kasama sa buhay, pwedeng sa trabaho, at minsan nagkakaroon ng matinding away. So please, hindi ko natatanungin kung sino kayo, pero mag-like na lang kayo at mag-heart kung nakaka-relate tayo sa usapang ito. So, ang pag-usapan natin is antindihin natin what is conflict and then how do we go about conflict? How are we going to manage conflict sa pamilya at sa relasyon? So, isa pa lang yung umaamin, isa pa lang yung like na nakikita ko sa screen. So, whether you like it or not, the reality of married life, of family life, is that conflict really happens. Ayan, marami na nagla-like at nag-heart. Conflict really happens. And it's inevitable. Yun nga lang, pag sinabi natin na parang, ay, ang gusto ko sa pamilya, I want na everybody's at peace, walang away. Magkaiba yung away, magkaiba rin yung conflict. Away are really fights, pero yung parang hindi pagkakaunawaan. Pero alam nyo ba na we can have healthy conflicts in the family. So, maraming pinanggagalingan yan. While we're at home, ang madalas natin napansin ngayon, bakit dumadalas din yung conflict? Pero meron din akong tinanong na, do you have conflicts in the home? Mas konti daw. Maybe you have more time to bond at more time na mas maging pasensyoso sa isa't isa. So it means baka in some way or another you're maturing into the relationship or you are just, realizing that I don't want to spend my energy in discussion. It means that you might be handling conflicts pretty well. Pero alam nyo, ang isa sa realidad nating mga Filipinos is that ayaw natin hinaharap yung conflict. Hindi tayo like the Western na very confrontative with conflicts. What do I mean by that? Pag may problema, pag meron tayong naramdaman na or na-offend tayo or talagang hindi natin gusto, we just keep it to ourselves. Is that healthy? No! It's that healthy? No! Pero para tahimik yung lahat, para at peace na lang lahat. A family lacking in conflict, it's not equal to being at peace. Bakit? May tinatawag na sa larangan ng holistic well-being, sa larangan ng total health, good relationships, healthy relationships is one part of or total well-being. It's one part of mental health actually. Pero pag inisip mo, kung yung galit, kung yung inis, ninanamnam mo lang at sinasarili mo lang, and then you're just trapping everything in your system, what will happen to you? Good morning, everybody! Welcome to Coffee Break. Paano nga ba kung yung conflict is you're bottling things up? Paano nga ba mag-good morning yan na parang coffee break sa'yo? Not, sometimes it's in a means of emotional outburst kung meron tayong triggers. At minsan naman, it's through the means of actually sickness, yung nagsasikip yung dibdib mo pero hindi mo mahanap anong reason, or you have back pains, or you have balakang pains, hip pain, pero hindi natin mahanap ano yung reason. Or minsan naman parang we feel that we're not heard. Sometimes it's really our emotions, it's really our, I call it yung sarili nating relasyon sa sarili, yung naaapektuhan pag binottle up natin. Kaya friends, ang request ko sa inyo, it is high time for us to have healthy relationships by understanding about conflict and understanding that hindi masamang mag-express, gagawin lang natin sa tamang paraan. Yan ang pag-usapan natin ngayon. As I said again, good morning. So ano yung mga reality? Meron away, meron talagang away na harapan, meron naman silent war, meron naman nagkapikunan, tas dead man na lang the whole day sa bahay. And then meron naman that conflict, you just cannot decide right here, right now, kung anong gagawin. So there's a deadlock in issues. So here, we have to, when conflict happens, bakit nagkakaroon ng conflict? Because we are in relationships, because we're dealing with a different human beings, in even kapamilya natin yan, magkakaiba pa rin tayo. Being unique, we all have our set of, unang-una, conflict happens because of differences. Differences in so many things. Unang-una na yung personality. Kailangan nating tanggapin na kaya nangyayari yung conflict kasi magkaiba kayo. Period. And you cannot just say na, bakit magkaiba kami? Ang tagal na namin magkasama. Well, that's just like saying na bakit hindi pa rin nagtutugma si Venus and Earth. Diba? Or si Venus and Mars. Diba meron ng book, men are from Mars, women are from Venus? It's exactly the differences of men and women. But if you look at it, conflict happens because there's exactly the unique differences of personality. Another is that your preferences are different. Iba yung diskarte niya sa diskarte mo. Isa lang yung gusto niyong patunguhan matapos yung gawain, pero gusto niya mamaya na at ang gusto mo ngayon na. Gusto niyo malinis yung bahay, pero sa'yo, end of day clean up tayo. Yun naman isa, ang gusto yung mayat-mayang clean up, manauubos yung enerhiya. Doon na lang nasuspend yung energy. Bakit meron personality difference? Personalities are, in psychology, personalities are given. It's inherent. It can be developed, but we have our innate or inborn tendencies already. So, friends, kung meron kayong tanong or meron kayong comment, please feel free to just share your comments or ask your question. Personality. Another one is that our preferences and interests. Nagkaiba yung gusto nga, magkaiba yung interest. So, that alone will tell us na as parents, pakikaway-kaway ng mga parents dito. Diba as parents, iba-iba rin yung trip ng mga anak natin. Doon natin makikita that even though they come from the same mold, they come from the same parents, they still have different preferences. That alone will tell us that each person is developing differently. Hindi porke anak natin sila, automatically we know them well. I have to tell you that. We'll move into parenting topics next week onwards. So, hindi porket alam anak natin sila, we know them well. We need to learn how to take note of their preferences and their interests. Same with our husband. Yan lalo, hindi natin kadugo. So, yung may mga asawa dito, yung mga kapatid natin, intindi mo naman yung kapatid mo kasi I'm sure you grew up the same way, in the same family. Pero, usually yung husband, tandaan natin, another source of differences is the family of origin dynamics. Ano ibig ko sabihin? The family of origin is yung pamilyang pinanggalingan natin. Family of origin, yung nanay at tatay na nagluwal sa atin, yun yung ating family of origin. At pag mag-asawa, we have different family of origins. Kaya, madalas, nagko-conflict as we go along because we are already programmed in our family of origin on how we do things. And as adult, we try and filter and experiment on what is best for us. And eventually, when we got married, we realized, wow, magkaiba kami. Wow, hindi ko to nakita sa kanya nung mag-boyfriend kami. Iba yung diskarte niya sa diskarte ko, iba yung way niyang pagtulog sa pagtulog ko, iba yung gusto niyang settings, iba yung gusto kong settings. And that is exactly why there's a lot of disagreements, there's a lot of conversations, there's a lot of discussion, at minsan nauuwi sa pikunan, nauuwi sa asaran, at nauuwi sa really conflict na hindi nyo pinapansin na nangyayari na. Yon yung pong medyo doon tayo hindi nagiging healthy as Filipinos. Nangyayari na yung conflict, nangyayari na yung there's a really serious conflict brewing up, but we don't address it. So here, another source of that, so I said personality, and there are preferences and differences, preferences, our family of origin, and our values. Alam nyo, pag hindi na magkatugma yung desisyon at yung talagang kung ano, lalabas ba tayo? Hindi. Or kailangan ba natin gawin to? Or hindi. You know what you check? The intention and what is the value of that decision to you. When you check that, makikita mo kung kayo ay mag-asawa, makikita nyo, magkaiba pala yung value natin. Yung isa praning with sanitation, yung isa hindi. Yung isa, okay lang, carry lang, hindi tayo magkaka-COVID. Yung isa, chill lang. Yung isa, importante sa kanya yung kanyang health and well-being at matulog ng maaga. Yung isa, importante naman sa kanya na makapag-leisure time at Netflix time sa gabi. So, nagka-conflict. So, you see, it's not the values are not really the outward manifestation, but it's actually at the back of how we make decision and how we live our lives. And if you try to reflect that, that's a lot of, it will give you a lot of insight kung saan galing yung issue natin. So lahat yan konektado, si personality, preferences, family of origin, it all transposed to our values. Ano yung pinapahalagahan natin ngayon at paano natin siya ginagawa. So much for differences. Kung ito yung mga normal conflicts lang, yung mga daily, day-to-day exchanges natin, then it's okay. Pero alam nyo, ang isa sa source din ng conflict, lalo na kung ito ay unhealthy or toxic conflict or prolonged conflict, yung talagang away na hindi na nagpapansinan, that it caused relationship breakup. It's also due to unresolved issues or probably yung tao, a lot of insecurities because of deeply rooted, unresolved issues that is causing the person a lot of past hurts. So, yung mga past hurts, tandaan nyo, so ngayon, kung maliit tayo, lumalaki, inipon lang natin yung hurts natin, hindi natin niresolba, hindi tayo natutong magpatawad, kahit hindi humingi ng tawad yung isang tao, and then, lahat yan, o yung mga issue natin sa magulang natin, sa kapatid natin, sa mga taong nakasakit natin, kung matanda na tayo, sorry, I have to tell you this, kung matanda na tayo, 40 ka na, 30 ka na, 50 ka na, at hindi mo pa rin nare-resolba, friend, move on. Make it the pre-pandemic season of your life, and this pandemic, this is really the filtering stage, because toxic conflict may not conflict, it's already inside you, and eating up your system, that it's no longer healthy in your present relationships. Kaya yung iba, they fail in present relationships, it's because they have deeply rooted unresolved issues that has caused them a lot of hurts and harm in their adult life. You have to check that. Kaya may mga ibang tao, but parang ang bigat niya. Have you encountered that? Friends, have you encountered that? Makipag-usap sa isang tao na parang, bakit ang bigat-bigat niya? Sandali lang kami nag-usap, pero parang, wow, sobrang bigat niya. So, you have to check that. Alam nyo kung bakit? Baka ang dami yung tinatawag na excess baggage or unresolved issues? Probably. But I'm not here to talk about those today. I'm here to talk about what was considered to be I'll share with you conflict principles. Conflict principles, kung paano natin ito maiintindihan. At the early onset of quarantine, one of my reflection is that the quarantine season is a good way to measure the conflict resolution skills and the strength of communication of the family. So let's just repeat this. A crisis situation is a very good way to measure the conflict resolution skills and couples and family. And it's also a very good way to measure the communication skills of couples and family. Bakit ko nasabi yan? Masusubukan natin ngayon kung gaano katatag at gaano kalalim ang ating pag-uusap, pagsasama, at kung gaano tayo kaayos mag-resolve ng conflict. Because in the home, sa mga bahay natin ngayon, kung kasama natin yung pamilya natin, probably maraming conflict na nakatago sa loob natin, nakatago sa cabinet, sa pantry, sa ilalim ng kama, sa loob ng cabinet. And minsan parang boom, ito na nga ba yung sinasabi ko eh. Talagang naiinis ako dahil dito. There. Meron tayong mga ganyang trigger moment. So yan, you have to remember that. And if we pass through this quarantine stage with those conflicts, unresolved conflicts resolved, very good. Kung maka-pass through tayo here in our conflict resolution stage during the quarantine season, we pass it well, then I guarantee you, it is a way for us to measure gaano tayo nag-evolve and mature as a family. So, not all conflict, another principle, not all conflicts are toxic. Hindi lahat ng conflict ay toxic because conflicts are naturally part of family and relationships. I have to tell you this, conflicts are really part of family life and relationship. When you say you want to be at peace, wala akong problema, I don't have any concern or problem, so no conflict. No conflict in the family is not equivalent to being at peace and there's no problem. Kasi when we don't have problems anymore, how will the family grow? How will we be on our toes to make the most out of the relationship and to be better and better? Wala tayong benchmark. So, no conflict does not equate to no problem. Another principle that I'll share with you about conflict. Conflict can be a way to retool each other on our relationship skills. Conflict is a way for the family to, so kung ang conflict as kailangan ng family, we need to understand that conflict can bring, one, it's retooling our skills in the relationship. So parang dati pag nag-away kami, ganito. Ngayon, we've learned that to deal with each other this way. So ang tanong ko sa inyo, friends, how are you dealing with conflict in the home now that we're all at home? Hindi ka na pwedeng magpunta sa mall. You cannot step out of hindi ka na pwedeng maglakad-lakad outside kasi baka biglang mahuli ka na lang kasi we're on quarantine. So here, I have to share with you, conflicts are part of it's also a way to retool of our relationship. And another one, it's also a way to understand where the other person is coming from. You know, when we were trained before, when I was a young counselor, yan ang laging sinasabi sa amin in the counseling theories. It's making sure that we understand where the person is coming from. Can you say that with me? Understand where the person is coming from. So the first thing that conflict can bring is that it's a way to retool, and it's retooling. The other thing is understanding. Understanding where the person is coming from. Saan siya galing? In Tagalog, anong hugot niya? Kung makita natin kung ano yung hugot niya, and then, kaya pala ganun yung reaction. Kaya pala, ayaw niya yan talaga. Oh, that's why. So, we have those eureka moments na, I know na that triggers. I would like to understand. It's important that if we are in relationship, we have to understand the world of our beloved, the world of the person. Kasi gusto natin makita ano yung galaw ng utak niya, saan siya galing. Saan siya galing planeta? Saan siya galing context? I have to say that. Where is the context of the person? So conflict also has context. anong konteksto ng trigger nung aspetong yon, nung aspect na yon. So another thing. So one, it's retooling. Second is understanding where the person is coming from. The third, it's also improving our communication skills. As I mentioned earlier, we Filipinos were not very, very good in expressing how we feel about things, expressing. So parang feeling natin na parang pag may nagsabi ng issue sa atin, pag may nagsabi na alam mo, I don't feel good about this, I need you to do this for me because it's important for me. Pag meron na nag-assert, feeling natin we are being attacked. I'll be personal. I for one, I'm the type of person, if you ask me, what do you like? I'm not the type of person who will say anything, because I know what I want. So it may come strong. So what do you like? Do you have coffee? I'll ask for brewed coffee specifically. And I'll be very honest to tell you that, oh no, I know I have only powder, I only have instant coffee. Is that okay? No, it's okay. I'd rather have brewed coffee. So when I tell you that, am I being too aggressive, or am I just expressing what is really in me? The problem is that napakapi ako. The problem is that, as Filipinos, when we are asked, how are you? What's our answer? I'll wait for your answer. How are you? Kumusta ka ngayon? Anong common sagot? 90% of the time, what answer do you get pag kinumusta ka? I'll wait for your answers. Friends, sagutin nyo yan. Pag tinanong kayo, how are you? What's your answer? Okay lang. Thank you, Viti. You're the first one to answer. Okay lang, di ba? Okay lang, okay lang. That's the common answer. Another question. Galit ka ba? Okay ka lang? Anong sagot natin? Anong sagot natin pag ganyan na nangyari? Galit ka ba? Okay ka lang ba? Anong sagot? Okay naman, mabuti naman, yan. Do we really admit that we are angry all the time? Kaya minsan lumalabas sa non-verbal. Most of the time, it comes out in a different form because we're not very good at expressing. I'll talk to you about communication in another session. So here, really, it's a way for us to get to know, as I said, to retooling, understanding, and improving our communication skills. So, unang-una natin kailangan maintindihan that magkaiba yung being aggressive at being assertive. Being aggressive is you want to get things done your way without collaborating with the person. But assertiveness is expressing your need because this is important for you. And when you do that, you do it in a tone of love and concern, and because you want to get a thing, a goal, or a task accomplished. And that is a means to improve communication. We bring out our assertiveness simply because I want this relationship to be better. Ayan, nakikita ko yung sagot nyo. Pag galit ka ba? Hindi ako galit. Okay lang ako. No, okay naman. Walang sagot. Kaya nga. So it's high time for us to really express, how do you feel today? I'm not okay. Ako, I tell that. Bakit? In my terms, in my personal joke, ayoko magka-cancer. Ayoko ma-bottled up yung inis, galit, at unsyame sa buhay ko. I don't want to bottle it up because I know it's not good for my long-term health. But I'm not attacking anyone. I'm not attacking anyone. I'm just expressing my state. Kaya, being able to assert ourselves also gives the people that we are with better communication skills because nakikita nila they are not second guessing on our state, and us checking on them that way also, we are not second guessing. Sabi, okay, you're not okay, sige, I'll let you be for now, iiwanan muna kita. What about naman po yung sobrang honest sa nararamdaman? That's a very good question. Kung very honest ka naman sa nararamdaman, do you just say it because you want to say it? Or you have to check your intention. You want to be honest kasi gusto mo lang ilabas? Or dahil you are collaborating? Kasi kung gusto mo lang ilabas, i-journal mo na lang. Pero kung gusto mong i-share dun sa mga taong nakapaligid sa'yo, do it in a tone ng, I need help. Or do it in a tone of, kung lalo na kung may issue ka dun sa taong paglalabasan mo, that's where I'm going to. How do we move about conflict? So magkakaiba yung intensyon, yung being, you're just blurting out your emotion because simply gusto ko lang tong ilabas sa inyong lahat dahil naiinis ako, galit ako. That's different. That's very different from I need to express my need because I hope our relationship can improve. Not on your ways because you want to collaborate. You want to cooperate, and you want the two of you to work things out. That's so different from just being, gusto ko lang express. That's so different. Okay, and lastly, conflicts can be a way to strengthen the relationship. That is the main goal kung bakit tayo nagkaka-conflict. Kasi it's a way to retool. When we retool, it's a way to understand the other person better. When we understand the other person better, we get to improve the communication. And mind you, the result of that is that we were able to strengthen the relationship na papatatag natin yung relasyon. You know, in relationship, we cannot just take things sitting down. We just cannot, hindi pwede na kung paano, for example, yung mga married dito na 10 years or so ng married, you don't fight the same way that you fought on the first 5 years of marriage. Tama? Yung iba sabi, nung una talaga, fireworks sila. Minsan naman, first 5 years of marriage nyo, wala kayong away. And that is okay. Kasi, sometimes, we shift. We change. Lalo na ngayon, we're in the middle of what they say, pandemic. We're in the middle of crisis. But how do we actually manage all this? How do we, get a grasp of ourselves while we are in this pandemic? So, ang pinakamagandang mangyari ngayon is that makita natin, we can be able to reflect on our relationships and to understand that conflicts really happen, and this is the chance for us to be observant. I will challenge you all, be an observer of how conflict arise in your family. Minsan, pag nag-away yung anak nyo, don't meddle. Parents, pag nag-away yung anak nyo, don't meddle. Wag lang silang magsasakitan. When you meddle, you're not allowing them to resolve conflicts on their own. You're not allowing them to gain the relationship skills that is needed. And paano naman kung kayong magkapatid, yung nagka-conflict? Tingnan nyo, saan yung mga hugot nyo? Baka naman pareho kayong stressed. Pareho na kayong overburdened with work. Pareho na kayong nag-worry about the situation. Pareho na kayong mataas yung hormones. At kung pareho pa kayong babae, you are in the same week of your hormonal changes. Or baka pareho kayong nagmi-midlife. Alam nyo, minsan, for those parents with teenagers at home, you have to understand also, going to, in relation to midlife, minsan, ang parent nagmi-midlife at nagmi-midlife crisis at yung anak naman ay nagti-teenage stage. Sa teenager, they are in the stage when the hormones are increasing or changing at tayo rin nasa midlife or going to menopause stage. Our hormones are also changing. So pareho lang yung pattern but different routes in life. Yung isa papunta, yung isa pabalik. At pareho nilang natin iniintindi yung sarili natin. So kung as adults, we don't know ourselves and then we have a teenager, that teenager might just be triggering our own issues kasi gusto natin silang intindihin or gusto natin magpaintindi. May nagtanong dito, how about people did not accept their mistakes? They think they're perfect. That's no longer your problem. Wag natin problemahin ng mga taong ayaw tanggapin ang kanilang pagkakamali. Basta sa puso natin, napatawad natin sila at i-unleash mo na yung hurt mo. Try to resolve your own issues with yourself because we can never, ever force people to change who or what they are. Yan ang isa sa pinakamasakit pero pinakatotoong bagay sa buhay. We can never expect people to change who they are. So, Conflicts, as I said, can be a way to retooling in the relationship, understanding better the other person on where he or she is coming from, improving communication, and strengthening the relationship, because this is a way for us to understand that conflict can be constructive. Each person has a unique way of dealing with conflicts. So conflict can be constructive. Dapat ang makita natin is, oh my God, paano niya nire-resolve yung conflict? So, for example, there are some people that who do it this way, who do it this way. I'll talk about the different ways of how people deal with conflict on our Thursday session. That's my promise to you. So you can watch out for it. Para na-establish ko na ngayon yung... Okay, meron nagtanong, how about, I like your questions, how about if the person does not want to communicate or confront the issue? As long as you express your intentions of resolving the issue and what you think about it in a collaborative manner, open the door. Open the floor to that, for that communication. Kung ayaw niyang ayusin, that's his end and that's his issue. Resolve the issue on your own also. Hindi mo kailangan gawin yung dapat niyang gawin. Gawin mo yung dapat mong gawin. At ang unang-una dyan is change your perception of things. Ang baguhin mo, kung ayaw mo, okay, ito yung gagawin ko on my part. Yan yung pinakamahirap, because we feel that I need to change you, I need to do this for you, may problema ka. We have to shift our heads and understanding that sometimes the problem is, this is really a confrontational. So the points of reflection that I would like to, paano yung mechanism na ganito ako, pasensya ka na, so be it. Kung ayaw niya magbago, ikaw ang magbago. Baguhin mo yung pagtingin mo sa kanya. Ibig sabihin, so, kung ganyan yung gusto mo, okay, pero I will not stop you. I will not let you stop me from growing to be the best version of myself. It's really difficult. It's really difficult. Kung ang stance ng tao, ganito na ako, pasensya ka na, it means that they are not open. So, why would you get stuck not growing? Kung ang karelasyon mo is they don't want to evolve from how they are, I have a good news for you. You can still be in charge of yourself. At pag nakita na nila at naramdaman nila, bakit ang saya mo? Bakit parang you can live without me? Yes! Kasi yun naman yung goal. Bonus lang yung relasyon bonus lang yung relationships natin sa buhay. Kung kumpleto tayo at we connect ourselves with God and yung relasyon natin sa Kanya is becoming the source of everything, then no matter what other people do, no matter how other people direct their lives, and then conflicts become secondary. You know yung stance na ayaw mong i-confront yung issue, ganito ako, pasensya ka na, just let it be. And allow God to work on that person, but let God change you also to mature from that situation, because we cannot force and we cannot ever change the person. So what are I'll give you A to E points of reflection. A, awareness is key. So once you're aware of it, once you're aware of it, pag sinabi ng tao na ayoko i-deal with, okay, so there's no conflict there. The conflict is that when you keep insisting, there is a conflict because there's a conflict in you. So you have to really pray na lang for, that serenity prayer again, yung God, grant me the courage to accept the things I cannot change. Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Napakaraming beses nating dadasalin yan. To have that serenity to accept that we cannot change. Kasi yun ang isa sa pinakamahirap na aspeto ng relasyon. So the conflict might be in you if you keep insisting there is a conflict. Or you resolve the things that you can resolve. So awareness is key. You have to be aware, is this really an issue? Or it's a non-issue already? Is this a conflict situation? Will it cause abuse or it's just small irritation? So, you also have to choose your battles. Hindi lahat ng conflict pinapatulan. Kaya nga may healthy conflict kasi those healthy conflicts are just for us to retool and to understand, but not really to fight, to clash, and to cause harm in the relationship. Okay, next one, you have to be open and honest. Unang-una, you have to be open and honest na hindi ko siya kaya, I'll let you be. Hindi ko mababago tong sitwasyon, hindi kita mababago. So you have to be open and honest. And actually, I have to use the word, you have to be humble, to humbly accept that I have to change myself also. I have to change the way I do things. Alam nyo, ang conflict is a mirror. It mirrors us. Kaya kung meron tayong mataas na awareness of ourselves, awareness of our worth as a person, and we become open and honest with who we are, where we are, and what we want in the relationship, and then that is the key. If you see, I'm not giving you 1, 2, 3 steps. I'm giving you tools. I'm giving you principles because that's how it is. Your context is very different from my context. Even books would tell us that, different things can happen. Different things, meron tayong mga bagay na hindi naintindihan sa isa't isa. So you have to embrace that. Also, we have to start changing by being open and being honest. And C, you have to check your triggers. Check your triggers by how you're feeling. Check your triggers and how you feel. You have to check your trigger. Alam mo na parang pag ito yung ginawa nitong taong to, alam mong maiinis ka. So, you have to check your trigger at alam mo na next time na I can deal with this better. Alam ko na naman na mangyayari yan, so I know how to deal with it. Alam ko na pag sobrang taas na ng emosyon ko at pag nakipag-argue ako, I know it's not gonna be good. So, I know how to step back and when to be quiet. So, that's a key. You have to check your triggers. Okay, another one. D, do not keep it. Communicate when head is clearer and when you have think things through. Ibig sabihin, do not keep your hurts, but do not also raise it up on the time that both of your emotions are high. Ang pinaka-failure of conflict is that both of you ay mataas ang emosyon at dun nagka-clash. Kaya nagka-clash. Kasi pareho na kayong sobrang high in emotion, boom. You're no longer thinking head-on, but you're thinking, wala nang rationale. It's all about the heart and I feel offended. Yes, there's a lot of things that, and then, when we have talked things through, when you have things are clearer, and then that's when we communicate. Yung mababa na yung emosyon. Maybe after you take a bath. Maybe after you take a walk. Maybe after a breather or you kept quiet. Kasi naintindihan na natin eh. You know what works for me? I check my trigger and I express, I really felt offended because this is what happened and because I was hoping that this will happen kasi this is very important for me. When we use also iMessage, when you call it iMessage, I felt offended because when we attack the person, that really becomes the problem. Yan ang next Thursday natin pag-usapan. So do it, keep it, do not keep it, try to communicate it with a tone of love and concern. Take note, you don't talk and you don't keep it just to say it. Or you don't say it just simply to say it. You say it because you want to work on the relationship and you want to express your love and concern for the welfare of the person. And that's exactly why we are here, why we're strengthening our relationship. And lastly, embrace the differences. Ito yung pinakamahirap, pero pag nagawa natin to, my God, how mature we are. And how mature we have become. Embrace differences. Embrace also the imperfections of each other. It is very critical. Minsan, alam mo namang magkaiba kayo, pero hindi mo pa rin tanggap. So, pag sinabing niyakap mo na, alam mo na ganyan siya, edi just embrace the differences and make the most out of it. Would you stop life because your partner is not perfect? Would you stop life because your family member would not do this? No. You do a life that you create. And you do a life that is fitting to what the Lord wants for you. That's why, we have to also acknowledge that conflict is a way for us to embrace the, para akong sumegway, the imperfection of our family member. That's why, that's why I have a book called Family Goals, Embracing the Imperfections of Family Life. This is my first solo book under feastbooks.ph. I believe there's still at 30% off this May. So, kaya I called it Embracing the Imperfections of Family Life. Bakit? Lalo na ngayon na nandito tayo sa quarantine, alam nyo, ang daming nag-unfold na hindi natin gusto, ang daming nag-unfold na differences, ang daming nag-unfold na stressful situation, at ang daming nag-unfold na parang mga learning moments or mga growth points. Friends, it's not the end of the world. You know, and my goal and my hope for everybody is that when we move out of the quarantine after this pandemic situation, we are stronger in our family life. If there is one blessing that the crisis will bring us, is for us to be more better. We've learned to embrace the differences we have in our family members. We've learned to strengthen our communication skills, and we've learned to strengthen each other through support. And we've learned that conflict, it's part of our lagi niyong tingnan that conflict is also not a crisis, but conflict is a growth opportunity para makita natin how else can we grow, and how else can we retool, and how else can we improve our married life. It's not gonna be easy, I'm telling you. Family life and marriage and raising kids and dealing with our siblings and dealing with our parents and dealing with our loved ones, it will never be easy. So it's always a constant learning experience. It's a continuous process. So relationship conflicts happen because they are there, because they are the reasons why we need to retool ourselves. These relationship conflicts are means for us to grow in the relationship. I'll repeat that. Relationship conflicts happens because they are a means for us to grow in our relationship. Either it be marriage, either it be your family life, either with your child-parent relationship, either with your siblings or your mga pamangkins, even your relationship with your boss, your relationship with your colleagues, with your relationship with your significant other. Conflicts happen because they are a means and an opportunity for us to grow and retool and improve and strengthen the relationship. And that's what conflicts in relationship is about. Last question. If the person doesn't want to listen and accept their mistake, it is right to turn your back to them and go ahead with your life. If the relationship is toxic, I did not talk about toxic conflict. They don't want to listen and accept their mistake, love them from a distance. As long na sa puso mo, pinatawad mo na siya, you are at peace, pinakitaan mo na siya ng maganda, and you've forgiven yourselves also for the way you felt about this person, you can move on and love the person from a distance. I'm talking about healthy relationships and a healthy conflict. And I hope I have somehow helped you. I encourage you, friends, please comment in the comment section on what are your hugots and learnings from the day, so that when we discuss about how can we understand the way people, I would like to talk about conflict resolution patterns. Paano natin usually nire-resolve ng tao yung conflict, and how we can deal with conflict better on my Thursday coffee break. So I hope to see you then. Please comment in the comment section. Please ask questions if needed, na konektado sa conflict, konektado sa conflict, so that we can start the ball rolling again next Thursday. And I hope that you join me for coffee break. This is Dr. Michele Alignay saying magandang umaga, and may you have the best conflict resolution way in your family and in your relationship. God bless you all. Thank you.